He's sitting on that bench. Cornelius, are you sure this isn't an adventure?
You don't have to ask, Barnaby. When you're in one, you'll know it, all right. Now, how much money have you got left?
How much, Cornelius? 40 cents for the train back, 30 cents for dinner, and 20 cents to see the whale. 90 cents. What?
When those women come out here, we'll have to pretend to be customers. Customers! That's it. Maybe the best thing that we can do is make them think we're rich. Then we don't have to spend anything. We're two men about town looking for hats for ladies. Good afternoon, Mrs.
Malloy.
Here, Cornelius Hacker.
Here, Barnaby Tucker.
My pleasure, gentlemen. Now, what can I do for you?
Well, you see, we're two ladies about town looking for some hats to Malloy with, and
We're hats. You see, and we wanted to buy a lady or two to Malloy with.
well, we want a hat. For a lady, of course, and everyone said come to Mrs. Malloy's because she's so pretty. I mean, her hats are so pretty.
And so reasonable, Cornelius, as reasonable as under $1 would leave us enough to see the whale.
Pay him no mind, ma'am. He's come all the way from Yonkers to see the whale, and he's all excited. Barnaby, keep an eye on the street, and maybe you'll see it pass by.
Is it big and black with little red eyes?
Yes.
It's sitting on that bench.
Excuse me, but did you say Yonkers, Mr. Hacker?
Oh, yes, ma'am, Yonkers. And forgive me for saying this, but you should see Yonkers. And by that I mean, perhaps Mr. Malloy would like to see Yonkers too.
Oh, I'm a widow, Mr. Hackle.
You are? Barnaby, she's a widow! Oh, that's too bad. I'm sure Mr. Malloy would have loved Yonkers, especially in that hat. On you, of course not. Mr. Malloy, may he rest in peace. You're Catholic, aren't you? Well, don't let that worry you. I'd be willing to change. Mrs. Malloy, if you should ever have a Sunday free in the near future, I'd be more than willing to show you Yonkers from top to bottom.
Well, as a matter of fact, Mr. Hackle, I might be there sooner than you think.
Oh, really?
You see, I have a friend who lives in Yonkers.
Do you?
Well, perhaps you know him.
Perhaps we do.
Oh, it's always so silly to ask in cases like that, isn't it? It's Mr. Vanderbilt.
Horace Vandergelder?
Of Vandergelder's Hay and Feed.
Do you know him?
No.
Mr. Vanderbilt is a substantial man and well-liked, they tell me.
Oh, a lovely, lovely man. Just one fault as I know. He's hard as nails.
Cornelius, I think...
Now, I wonder if your friend might like this one.
Oh, look out.
Begging your pardon, Mrs. Malloy.
Just what you're doing!
You've got to help us. We'll explain later.
Come on there, Miss Minnie.
Where's this?
Well, really, Mr. Hackle. Mr. Tucker, come out there. I'll be forced to Mr. Vandergelder.
Miss Malloy, I don't suppose Mrs. Levi is here, is she? She was supposed to meet me on that bench 10 minutes ago. When I make an appointment, I like people to be on time. I suppose she can come looking for me if she comes. Ah, here. Here's a present for you. Chocolate-covered peanuts. Unshelled. They're the expensive kind. Did I just see you talking with two men?
Men? Men, Mr. Vandergelder? What would men be doing in a lady's hat shop? Now let's go into my workroom. I'm so anxious for you to see it.
I saw it last week.
So you did. Well, Mr. Vandergelder, what's new in the hay and feed business? I hear you have 3 friends, all hard as nails. I mean,
What on earth are you talking about?
Yonkers! I heard it's a very beautiful city.
And who's been telling you about Yonkers, I ask?
Nobody, a friend.
What friend?
Well, you see, he... Oh, a customer, Mr. Vandergelder's.
Ah.
Someone quite well to do, as a matter of fact. He was in here buying hats for ladies. As a matter of fact, you might even know him. Although it's usually so silly to ask in cases like that, isn't it?
Yes.
It's Mr. Cornelius Hacker.
Did you say Hackle?
Why, yes.
Oh, wait, he's my Mrs. Malloy, I demand an explanation.
And I'm going to give it to you. Why should she know Cornelius Hackle? Everyone in New York knows Cornelius Hackle. Why, he's here. At the opera. In all the fashionable restaurants. Why, he's at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant 3 times a week.
Impossible. He's only got $146.35 for keeping him my own safe.
Mr. Vandergelder, you're killing me. He's one of the Hackles. They built the canal.
What canal?
The canal. The canal. Both.
Well, it ain't the same man.
Who took the horses off of Ginny Lynn's carriage and pulled her through the streets? Cornelius Hackle. And who dressed up as a waiter last week at the Fifth Avenue restaurant and dropped an oyster right down Miss Astor's? I can't say it, but it was Cornelius Hackle. He's the playboy of New York. Now, Irene, don't deny it. I can see you were taken with him just like everyone else. Dolly, what you saying? I mean, I've only just met him once. Really, Dolly, excuse me first. Minnie, hold your tongue. There's a man in there.
Now look here. If there's a man in that closet.
No, Mr. Vandergelder, you can't. It's too dangerous.
No man in these closets is frightening. Mrs. Levi, now stand aside.
No man, indeed. Those muscles. Oh, I can see them now, rippling back and forth underneath your coat. Ripple, ripple, ripple. Back and forth. Ripple, ripple, ripple.
Now, for the last time, Mrs. Levi, will you stand aside?
Stand indeed, Mr. Vandergelder. I mean, what do you stand for? If you don't stand for the law of this great land, that's exactly what the courts will want to know when you are accused of entering that closet without a search warrant. Really? What do you stand for if you don't stand for the law of this great land? I know what I stand for. I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans. Take off your hat, sir. Betsy Ross's flag is classy. Do you see him on the hill at Gettysburg? Neath that great triumphal arch. If you see him, he is trampling through the graves of Robinson and March, March, March. Has this not affected you, sir? I came here at 14 years of age as an immigrant girl from a land that oppressed my people, and I must echo here what was said by that great and patriotic American, Moses. I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans. Take off your hat, sir. There's a tear-stained field passing. Do you see him on the bridge at Waterloo? In that great triumphal arch. Do you hear him singing Dixie with the sugar cane cinnamon march, march, march? I stand for God, Mr. Rossi, flag and trees and